Ex-Subway spokesperson Jared Fogle will spend the next 15 years behind bars after pleading guilty to sex crimes.
A federal judge issued the sentence after listening to 3 hours of testimony. Crimesider's Graham Cates is here. Graham, in the plea deal, the lawyers agreed to a maximum of 12 years, but the judge went even higher than that. Did the judge explain why she decided to give him even more time?
Yeah, she said basically that agreement didn't really meet the severity of his crimes. She said that they were too serious. And she said that basically he needs to spend more time in prison, more time getting treatment. And she specifically noted the fact that he knew some of the victims, some of the people who were in videos, these children, that he had at his home.
Now, he did testify on his own behalf, and we have a quote that we can share with you. He said, "At the time, I truly did not understand what I was doing, as well as the consequences of my actions. At the time, I thought that because I was paying them, it was okay."
Yeah, the judge noted that he seemed remorseful when he was giving this statement, but even while he was giving this statement, it was clear that she wasn't quite buying his whole argument. She actually interrupted him at one point. He said that he was sad that his ex-wife now was going to have to raise their children as a single mother. And the judge, actually Tanya Pratt is the judge's name, she interrupted him and she said, "You gave your wife $7 million, so she should be fine."
Oh my gosh. You can see where the judge came down on this. The defense they took an interesting tack, didn't they? They tried to describe him as a weak pedophile and brought in an expert who testified that it was caused by his weight loss. What was that about?
Right. They alternated between saying weak pedophile and mild pedophile, and the prosecution really quickly said the scientific community doesn't view that as an acceptable diagnosis. But they said that he had an eating disorder growing up, and that the Subway diet, they didn't specifically say the Subway diet, but they said his massive weight loss in college exacerbated that and caused him to be hypersexual. And it's worth noting that millions of Americans struggle with eating disorders. And I mean, this is just, there's not really a connection between pedophilia and having an eating disorder.
Well, given how the judge reacted to sentencing him, she was clearly not buying a lot of that defense either. Talking about where he will spend his time now behind bars, what's next in deciding that?
The Bureau of Prisons is going to do a post-sentencing report where they kind of figure out where he should go and what kind of security they should have. And the judge is urging them to send him to a prison in Littleton, Colorado that's low security and where she said he could get treatment for his sexual disorders.
So he agreed to plead guilty to being a pedophile. But what were the specific charges? What was he actually accused of doing?
So what he pleaded guilty to was traveling to engage in illicit sexual conduct with a minor. He actually came to New York City from Indiana specifically to meet up with a teenage girl at a hotel, and then distribution and receipt of child porn. Now, a man named Russell Taylor, who worked for his foundation, the Jared Fogle Foundation, specifically recorded children in his bathroom and gave the recordings to Jared Fogle. And prosecutors said that for Russell Taylor, they're going to seek harsher sentences.
Okay.
Graham Cates, thank you. Remember, you can track investigations and read up on the big crime stories of the day at cbsnews.com/Crimesider.